For a more in-depth look at that, we're joined tonight by political analyst and publisher of the Quorum Report, Harvey Kronberg. Harvey, good to have you.
Always glad to be back.
All right, so based on some of these exchanges that we saw in Houston, has Talarico done enough to address the skepticism from some black voters, or does he still have work to do?
I think he's always going to have work to do. He needs a big black turnout, just like he needs a big Hispanic turnout. And there's going to be some people, like the woman who was really agitated in some of the videos, that are going to be upset. But actually, I think she helped turn the crowd. He's very calming. His ministerial presence, I think at the end of the day, at least by most of the reports I saw, he ended up winning the crowd over, and he just has to do that over and over again.
Yeah, is it a point where he sort of has to do this kind of thing? Because that was the woman's point. Like, you're trying to come in here and have a very quick event and not answer our questions. Yolanda Jones, state representative from Houston, has said she's tried to engage with him and has not heard back. Seems like he has to do a lot more of this.
Well, I think it's an ongoing process, and I was surprised about the Yolanda Jones comment because he's been pretty available, but he's also running a multi-million-dollar campaign in one of the reddest states in the country. So I think both sides have reason to make their claims, but at the end of the day, what are the alternatives for the African-American community in Texas?
Yeah.
As one of the people interviewed in the Houston Chronicle story said, he's our guy, and we're not voting for Paxton.
Well, I think black voters hate to hear that, though. They don't want to say, I'm your only option. But to your point, he is running a multi-million-dollar campaign. He announced yesterday an investment of $25 million of his own campaign money to go toward black voter outreach. Is that going to help this conversation?
I think it not only helps the conversation, it obviously helps the whole ticket. I mean, one of the problems with Beto's campaign was that it was all about Beto. He's building a bottoms-up, a top-down and bottoms-up organization. And in fact, in the 2018 races, which is the most analogous, when it was the first Trump midterm, most people gave credit to Beto for goosing turnout, but in fact, Democrats put $15 million into overturning a Republican in Houston and $15 million into overturning a Republican in Dallas, and that drove turnout from the bottoms up. And I think that's putting $25 million into black outreach is a bottoms-up type of thing rather than a top-down kind of movement.
And to Representative Talarico's credit, he also talked about Congresswoman Crockett's efforts to turn out down-ballot candidates. She's been doing that, of course.
I think the untold story of this upcoming campaign is how much bottoms-up it's going to be. The Republicans were taken by surprise in 2018. They're not going to be taken by surprise this time, so they're doing a lot of blocking and tackling and a lot of grassroots kind of work. So.
Okay, let's talk about this these debates that may or may not happen. Talarico saying last week that he's accepted 3 debates with different media groups around the state. Ken Paxton, who notably has never debated while he has been in statewide office, says he will debate, but didn't seem to commit, Harvey, to any of the media groups that have already sent out an invitation. Do you think they're actually going to debate, and where is it going to happen?
If they do debate, it's going to be a very truncated operation where there's only 1 minute back and forth. That's the way the Republicans have operated since the days of Rick Perry in the 2006 campaign when Kinky Friedman was on the ballot. So it'll be a very structured type of thing. It's not going to be a very satisfying debate. But at the end of the day, I think that Talarico has more to gain out of the debate, and frankly, Paxton has a lot to lose.
But you think it will happen?
I think we'll have one.
All right, let's one final question here. I want to turn to the ICE shooting because even Republicans like Senator John Cornyn have criticized the lack of body cams on ICE agents because we don't really have video evidence from the officer's perspective. Does that surprise you from Senator Cornyn?
No, not at this stage. I mean, he's a very modulated jurist. He was a Supreme Court Justice, Attorney General, and then a United States Senator. This is totally in character for him, and frankly, it's inexcusable that ICE, now the largest law enforcement organization in the world, with money specifically allocated to body cams, not to be wearing one. And in fact, the New York Times today reported that the FBI is no longer going to be investigating ICE confrontations or homicides.
We'll see what happens with all that. Harvey, thank you so much for joining the program.
Always a pleasure.